Have you ever felt completely, utterly stuck? Like you're looking around and everyone else is just zooming forward, landing these massive salaries, building impressive careers, and you're just standing still. Well, today we are breaking down a story that starts exactly there. Welcome to this explainer where we're looking at Dhaval Kataria's insane transition. We are talking about a guy who went from being a jobless 23-year-old with absolutely zero savings, zero media experience, and no backup plan whatsoever to becoming a self-made millionaire by the age of 25. He literally went from having no clue what to do next to buying his parents a car, a house, and honestly, pretty much anything he wanted. And he did it all by figuring out a very specific system, a system we are going to decode for you right now. 1 crore rupees. I want to anchor our financial stakes right here on this massive number. Hitting this in just 2 years is no joke. When Dhaval achieved this exact net worth, it absolutely wasn't because he had some privileged background or a magic inheritance. He didn't even have any special skills when he started. He simply learned the right lessons through a lot of brutal, real-world trial and error. I mean, he tried everything from holding cameras for other people to selling courses. But ultimately, this 1 crore represents the moment his strategy finally clicked, allowing him to retire his parents' financial worries in a matter of 24 months. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with phase 1, zero to beer biceps. Then we'll look at phase 2, the side hustle trap. Phase 3 is the agency illusion. Phase 4 covers his crucial eureka moment. And finally, phase 5 is the exact 1 crore blueprint. Stick around because you're getting the exact actionable steps he took to make this a reality. All right, phase 1, zero to beer biceps and the power of scrappy hustle. Look, every good story starts with a bit of a crisis, and Dhaval's is absolutely no different. He was just your average business undergrad. For 3 years of college, he admitted he was basically just having fun while his peers were grinding on side hustles, doing internships, building startups. So when placement season arrived, his friends were landing these fat job offers of 7 to 10 lakhs a year. And Dhaval? He got absolutely nothing. Zero. Actually, to make matters worse, he wasn't just starting at zero. He was starting in the negative, with a daunting minus 1 lakh rupees. That was his student loan, and you better believe it was gathering interest. Plus, he had zero creative or media background. Out of pure desperation, he started watching career and motivation videos online and stumbled across Ranveer Alabadia, famously known as Beer Biceps. Dhaval realized Ranveer was young, he was cool, and his channel was exploding. He thought to himself, wait, what if I help him with content or business? Surely he can pay me 50,000 rupees a month. So he cold emailed everyone on Ranveer's team. He even physically went to the office to drop off his resume. And he got crickets. Nothing. Until Ranveer posted an Instagram story saying he was hiring a scriptwriter. And this brilliantly illustrates his scrappy hustle. Dhaval applied immediately, but they asked for a sample script. Remember, he had no media experience. So what did he do? Well, as he playfully puts it, he used his Guju brain. He found a script written by a foreign YouTuber in English, manually translated it into Hindi himself, and keep in mind this was way before ChatGPT even existed, and submitted it as his own original writing sample. He waited for 2 days, absolutely terrified he'd be caught and yelled at. Instead, they called him and said, "This is the best script we've gotten. Let's start as soon as possible." He completely manufactured his own luck. But of course, there was a catch. He expected a $50,000 salary. They offered him $15,000. Living in Mumbai on $15K is practically impossible, right? But Dhaval took it anyway. And this right here is the secret sauce. That $15,000 job became his ultimate skill incubator. He made sure he was the hungriest guy in the room. He went to the office on work-from-home days, on rainy days, you name it. He played with cameras, learned editing software, and took on every single responsibility he could get his hands on. In just 3 months, he went from a writer to a strategy, producer, and director. Ranveer actually noticed this intense hunger and even asked Dhaval to live with him full-time. For a year, Dhaval absorbed everything about brand deals, podcast backends, and negotiations directly from India's biggest creator. In just 6 months, he leveled up to become the second most important guy in the entire company. But then we enter phase 2, the side hustle trap and chasing the money. Despite being second in command, his salary only bumped up to $35,000 a month. Now, when you are desperate to replace your income, you look for leverage. Dhaval had to do this through chaotic trial and error back then, but if he were starting that exact same journey today, he could totally bypass the chaos with a tool like emergent AI. If you want to start a side hustle right now, Emergent literally lets you build custom business software and automations without knowing a single line of code. You just identify a local business's repetitive tasks, describe the solution to Emergent in plain English, and sell that ready-to-use software for a premium. It's the absolute ultimate shortcut to building a one-person business that Deval wished he had back then. Because without modern AI tools, Deval's side hustle phase was a complete mess. He tried everything to replace his income after leaving his job with only 1 month of savings. He tried creating highly edited viral entertainment videos. He got one viral hit, but the rest completely flopped. He tried dropshipping with a friend, made a quick profit of 10,000 rupees in week 1, but quickly realized, uh-oh, I don't have the massive ad capital required to scale this. Then he tried doing high-end production ad shoots. He spent 3 months pitching, finally got one shoot that paid 50,000 in a single day. But it was a rare one-off payout with zero stability. None of these could replace his full-time income. That brings us to phase 3, the agency illusion, and the absolute roller coaster that followed. Realizing his side hustles were tanking, he pivoted to what he actually knew, a social media agency. He had the skills from his time with Ranveer. He just needed clients. So he aggressively messaged the videographer of a popular creator, Finance with Sharon. He told the videographer, hey, set up a meeting with Sharon, and if he signs, I'll give you 50% of my commission. And it worked. In one meeting, he closed Sharon for 1.1 lakhs a month. Using Sharon's name, Dhaval quickly closed 2 more creators. By the end of his first month after quitting his job, he was looking at $200,000 in monthly recurring revenue. He felt absolutely euphoric. He felt like he was on top of the world, on the fast track to making 10 grand a month, just like his internet idols. But then reality hit, and man, it hit hard. Just 3 months later, they had 0 new clients. They had hired a team assuming the crazy growth would continue, which just skyrocketed their overheads. Soon, Sharon and another client left. That 2 lakh rupee MRR, 8 plummeted. After splitting the remaining revenue and paying his team, Dhaval's personal take-home pay crashed to just $25,000 a month. 6 months after quitting his job to get rich, he was making less money than his original salary. Ouch. Now, what's really interesting here is how Dhaval reacted. He pivoted away from individual creators and went straight for the biggest brands in India. He built a case study from his one remaining successful client and pitched massive companies like HDFC and Aditya Birla. And no way, it actually worked. He was charging insane money. $10,000 for a single reel edit, $70,000 for strategy. He was pulling in 3 lakhs a month. The expectation was that these big brands would finally bring stability and wealth. But the reality? It was a total nightmare. He faced 30, 60, and 90-day payment delays. They had incredibly unclear deliverables, but he still had to pay his team on time every single month out of his own pocket. This wasn't a business, it was a highly stressful, glorified job. He had completely lost his entrepreneurial freedom. And that leads to phase 4, the eureka moment, accepting reality. This was the breaking point. Dhaval realized he was just utterly miserable. So in a wildly bold move, he fired all of his big brand clients. He just told them he wasn't taking any more work. His income dropped to absolutely 0. For a full month, he sat idle, doing no work, just thinking. And it was in that silence that he had a massive turning point. He realized, I am not good at doing business. My specialty is content. Actually, scratch that. It wasn't just a realization. It was an acceptance. He stopped forcing a broken agency model and accepted his true strength. He looked back at his track record and saw he had made viral videos for Ranveer, for Sharon, for big insurance brands. But running operations, managing cash flow, dealing with client delays, he hated it. But embracing that strength required a terrifying risk. He called his dad and told him he was shutting down the agency. He packed up and moved back to his parents' house in Rajkot. He accepted that he would have negative income for 6 months while he purely focused on building his own personal brand on YouTube. No clients, no safety net, just him, his stacked skills, and a camera in his childhood bedroom. Which finally brings us to phase 5, the 1 crore blueprint. This is where all those stacked skills finally meet distribution. Back in Rajkot, his videos started getting traction, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh views, but he wanted to go much, much bigger. So he analyzed the landscape and found his absolute genius unique selling proposition, his USP. He looked at Mr. Beast's high-retention, super engaging challenge formats. Then he looked at Iman Gaji's premium, high-value business education content. And Dhaval just combined them. He created a brand new genre on Indian YouTube, business challenge videos. It was like a breath of fresh air. Nobody in India was doing this specific blend of high-energy entertainment with actual tangible business value. Tracing this explosive timeline is wild. In month 1, he moves to Rajkot. By month 2, he discovers this unique USP, and his channel just catches fire. By month 3, massive brands are reaching out to sponsor his videos. Fast forward just 2 years from that exact moment, and he hits a net worth of 1 crore rupees. It just goes to show, when you find your unique angle and combine it with relentless skill, the scaling happens incredibly fast. And because he was a first mover in a highly profitable niche, he commanded a massive premium. We're talking up to 3 rupees per view for a sponsorship. To put that into perspective, if a video gets hundreds of thousands of views, you can do the math on how insane those brand deals were. Plus, top creators and business leaders started paying him purely for consulting, unlocking an entirely new, highly lucrative income stream. So let's synthesize this whole shebang into an actionable blueprint for you. It really comes down to 3 distinct phases. Phase 1. If you have no skills, hard work literally must be your initial leverage. Be the hungriest person in the room, just like he was at Beer Biceps. Phase 2. Relentlessly stack skills. Use that hard work to learn writing, editing, strategy, camera work, everything. Phase 3. Build leverage of distribution. Once you have the skills, create your own content, build your own audience. That is when you become undeniable and can charge a massive premium for your authority. Deval Kataria's journey proves that the path to $1 million isn't just a straight line. It's a series of pivots driven by learning what you're actually good at. So I want to leave you with this final thought. What is the one skill you can start stacking today to build your own leverage of distribution? Stop just watching others succeed from the sidelines. Pick a skill, start building, and who knows, maybe you'll be the subject of our next explainer. Thanks for tuning in.